someone who has changed her life, who has changed my life, who has made impacts around the world, that I know that she has left so many hearts and souls touched like beautifully. She's just an amazing person, amazing soul, and I'm so fortunate to have her here. And this is Raquel Gonzalez.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Caleb. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the amazing introduction. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm
My
excited to
first,
have you.
my first time.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be the first of many for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you are really big on like healing meditations, energies. You have changed my life just by introducing me to it and like guiding me, helping me become like a better person. And it's really changed my life. But I'd also like to hear from you just because you're obviously probably have more knowledge than me and you're a different person than me. I'd like to hear your side.
Oh, definitely. I'm so happy to share my perspective on anything, and equally always happy to hear somebody else's perspective because two people can look at a single situation or topic and two different perspectives. So I agree. It's great to share and get different people's feedback because in that experience, there's so much depth and growth opportunities,
Yeah.
perception. Yes.
So how is it that you became interested like in the energies and the healing and the meditation world? And like what was like your, I guess like your breaking point or your like idea of like you knew like this is like it benefited you?
Oh, sure. Well, I've known of meditation for many years, and I've always known it was something that I should do or wanted to do. And then, you get, especially when you're a lot younger, I think it's, for me at least, I should say, it was harder to meditate because you're just so, when you're just young, you're kind of, it's like life is exciting and you want that external stimulation. Everything is just so fresh because all your experiences are new. Especially like you get out of high school and those years when you're kind of becoming an adult.
Yeah. You want
Everything is
to
just exciting, right? you
yeah, for
you
sure.
thrive on that external world, and it's amazing. I'm not knocking it in any way. It's amazing. But it took me years before I was ready to like stop and turn internally to the
Yeah.
answers that lie within. But as far as when I started, um, I for me in my life, I needed to find a solution. Probably, let's see, it's been about 5 years now. I started having some anxiety. I've never had anxiety in my life. Nobody in my family had ever had anxiety.
That,
And if you've
really,
never had anxiety, you wouldn't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
that's cool. That's really cool actually. You're the first person I've ever met that said that.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody can, when what I found is when I was going through it, there was no solution. I didn't want to take drugs. I usually don't turn to drugs as my first choice. I try to figure things out as holistically as I can. So when I was going through this anxiety, there was nobody that knew how to help me. My family was like giving
Yeah.
me advice, but it was just words. It's like
Yeah.
I
Nothing that
understood
could
what they were
actually
saying.
solve your problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I could see their perspective was different than mine, but I was still living in that experience. So yeah, there was nothing that anybody could say that could pull me out of that anxiety.
Yeah.
And it was pretty severe. So I just really didn't want to be on medication because I felt like it wasn't the answer. The anxiety was not that I was deficient in medication.
Yeah.
That's not what it was. Sure, it would probably help. And I'm not knocking people who take medication.
It just
Some
wasn't.
people need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just wasn't my first choice.
Yeah,
Um,
for
so
sure.
I decided to try to find something outside the box. And that led me to the my first introduction to energy healing, which was the emotion code.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
the emotion code. So in the emotion code, I found so much healing, and it made so much sense.
What is the
Because
emotion?
the emotion code, okay. So the emotion code is a practice that was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson,
No.
and identified that a lot of our issues, health issues, emotional issues that we have in our life are a result of emotions that get trapped in our bodies. So essentially, say that you're living your life and you have some kind of traumatic experience. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a traumatic experience, but we'll just use it as an example. Let's say that you have some kind of trauma when you're 8 years old and that gets trapped in your body.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of susceptible to those emotions. So let's say something happens, the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, and you've kind of already been wounded that way. So it's easier for you to trap that kind of emotion, or even different emotions. And over time, when we're younger, our bodies are resilient. Our bodies can withstand a lot. But as you get older and as time starts to pass, all of those emotions are actually energetic in our body that are causing disturbances. So over time, it starts to affect the tissue in our bodies, our organs, our emotional health.
What did you say they were? You said they're energies, and what else you cut off?
Energetic frequencies. So it's actually, we don't see them, they're not visible to the naked eye, but it's actual energy that's there, that's vibrating and disrupting tissue.
Yeah.
So in my case, I had a lot of trapped emotions triggering the anxiety. So at that stage in my life, I said, let me just jump in, let me dive in, and let me go to somebody that's certified. And so I paid somebody to help me, and it truly made a difference. That was the first thing in my life that made a difference with the
and that
anxiety.
Was emotion coding, correct?
Emotion coding.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with it that I decided to learn it. I said, this is amazing. If this could help me, I just thought of, how many other people are where I was when I first had anxiety with no answers, maybe didn't want to take drugs, or maybe the drugs weren't working for them.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, this is pretty amazing, something that can help. If it helped me, it could surely help other people. So I was motivated to try to help make a difference in someone's life. I thought, even if it's just one person, it will be worth it. But of course,
it's like a difference in yourself, and you wanted someone else that's having your same struggles.
Yes.
Feel that belief in a way.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. So and that's what has become of it. I practice it now, and I've been able to help. I have so many success stories, people that have been
tell me one.
Had issues resolved.
Tell me a story.
Okay, I have a couple of amazing ones. There's so many. These are the two that always stand out. I'll share two stories with you.
Yeah.
The first one is someone that came to me who had fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
There's no medical cure for fibromyalgia. All they can give them is relief from the pain, like pain meds. I'm not familiar with what drugs they take, but medication that ultimately doesn't heal them, just lets them get through the days.
Yeah.
So
like a cover up.
Right. Just
your bones hurt and like your muscles, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. A lot of bone pain, especially the person that I helped would say to me that he was in pain constantly, all the time, especially when it rained. It was worse. So right before it was going to rain, for whatever reason, it would trigger it. So he always knew when it was going to rain.
Yeah. Or like when the weather's going to change.
Weather's going to change. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Grandma had it. She would tell me, and I kind of feel like she passed it on to like all of us, because like I can tell my mom or like my aunt, and I'll be like, hey, I think the weather's gonna change, because like I have like, for me it's like my injuries, like I have a knee injury from football, so like my knee will hurt, but their bodies are just like, I guess since they're older or they have like previous injuries, like theirs will hurt as well. It's not like to the point like wherever it's like a constant pain, but it's like that weather, when the weather's gonna change, you can like, I think I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I mean. Yeah. So that was this person's experience. And so I said, let's give it a try. And of course, whenever I'm I'm helping facilitating an emotion code session for someone, I always let them know, I can't guarantee that this work will, absolutely make a significant shift. It may not. It just depends on whether or not that condition is triggered by emotions, and almost any condition in our life is triggered by emotions to some effect, because we're emotional beings. Everything that we experience is through emotions. So
like under my understanding, we're like some of the only beings that can actually feel like emotions, and that's like it's an amazing gift. But it like
yes. Yes, it's a gift, and it's also, the other side of the coin. It can kind of, be our downfall, for some people, because you get stuck in the negative,
for sure.
lower.
It's easy to get stuck in the negatives.
Mm-hmm. So this person, I gave this person a series of sessions, and in each session, I would release a certain amount of emotions. And once I got to I knew it was the end because there was no more emotions to release. So I let him know, hey, everything's been released. And along the way, I usually track the symptoms. So like on a scale of 0 to 10, I asked them, to let me know what his pain level was. And every time we did emotion code, it slowly, maybe it didn't improve by too much, but maybe by just a tiny bit. So in his case, it was very gradual, but we kept making progress.
Slow but steady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So once I released the last emotions and I asked him, assess your body, let me know how you're feeling. And for the first time since we started, he had absolutely no pain, none whatsoever. I said, okay. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll check in with you, in a few days. And I did, and he was still feeling good. I would check in with him in a few weeks, a few months, a few years. It's been years, and he's never had fibromyalgia pain.
Oh wow, that's really impressive. So it's been years now since he hasn't had any pain at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now, so I always have to be sure to say, I'm not claiming to cure fibromyalgia. I actually don't claim to cure anything. What happens, all this work does is eliminate the emotions that are getting in the way, and the person's body heals itself, because our bodies know how to heal. We just remove the obstacles, and the body says, okay, I know what to do. That's all that happened. But it's amazing, and I just think of how many people have fibromyalgia that suffer for so many years. And they just, they've been led to believe that this is the way life is going to be. And I'm not saying that this would, that every person would have the same result. I've only worked on this one person with fibromyalgia, but I think that at minimum, this provides hope and lets you know that there's definitely a way. Keep basically, we should keep trying to find an answer, and not just, my personality type is I never just give in and say, this is the way it is. If I want something better for myself, for my family, for people that I, love, I always find the way.
Find a way to get it.
I love that. That's my passion. I love to find answers to help people that I love. So
it's your outcome, you want to help them. So you want to get, you want to get to the point, no matter the obstacles, you'll still find your way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in so doing, I help myself, and maybe the solution or the path that I took might help somebody else at some point. So it's learning, it's a learning experience, and it's an opportunity to grow. So and there's so many energy modalities that we can talk about. But I also was going to tell you about the second experience,
the second
story. This one is also amazing. I love to tell this story because it amazes me. Even though I do this work, when something like this happens, I still get amazed. I still feel like I'm still in awe, when something like this happens. Because again, it's not me doing it; it's the body. The body's healing itself.
You're kind of just like the help, but you're really not doing anything. It's I know what you mean.
Right.
I was trying to look for the words, but they weren't coming to me.
I just help clear the blockages, and then the body does the rest.
Yeah.
So this next story is for an animal, for a pet. It was a pet dog.
Yeah.
It was a friend of a friend who had this dog who her back legs didn't work, like she couldn't stand. So
Yeah.
for, I'm talking many years, this dog would pull her body weight around with her front paws, and her back legs would drag. And I said, well, let's give it a try. Maybe if it's emotional and she responds, I mean, it's a fairly easy process. It really is.
Yeah.
So I gave the dog two sessions, and I told the owner, let me know how your dog's doing, and we'll just see. I mean, I can't make any guarantees, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
So sure enough, like the next day after I gave him that second session, the owner called me, actually texted me really late. It was like close to midnight. And he says, I'm so sorry to be messaging you at such a late hour. He says, but I could not wait to tell you this. He says, you're not going to believe my dog is walking on all four legs.
What? That's all through the like emotional coding, right?
I only gave that dog 2 emotion code sessions.
Yeah.
The previous story, I gave that person, I think it was like 13 sessions.
13.
So this dog only had 2
does it like vary on like the person, or like it does?
It varies. It just varies on how many emotions that person has had trapped in their life. We have thousands. We have thousands of emotions, honestly. Like we have so many. But it depends how many are related to the symptom that we're working on.
Yeah.
But sometimes even after just a small amount of emotions that are released, people notice results right away.
Yeah.
So yeah, this dog, and the last time I asked, the dog was still walking. I haven't kept in touch with this person, like years following, but as far as I know, the dog still walking. And I would hope he would reach out to me if it wasn't true, because it was such an easy fix. I mean, it took me
2 sessions.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
That dog suffered for years, and in 20 minutes, that's all it really took. Like 30 minutes. It amazes me how easy and how some symptoms respond very well and very quickly.
Yeah.
I've had really good success with migraines, people that have like intense migraines, like in 5 minutes, migraine's gone. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
And how does it work, if you don't mind me asking? Like how do you have to do it? Like, does it affect you in any way, or the person? No.
As far as no, I just all I do is I release the emotions that are trapped in this person's body that are related to whatever symptom they're having. And when they're gone, they're permanently gone. So those don't come back. They could have other instances of the same emotion, but that instance that I released is gone. So there's no negative effect, if that's what you mean, on me. There's nothing that would those emotions would not like come and get attached to me.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not how it works. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, otherwise I probably wouldn't be doing this. But no, it's very safe and easy, and amazing.
Is it kind of like, how would you know? Like, is it like something that you feel, or like that because you said you can't physically see it, right? It's just like the energy. So it's like, how do you know like it's working?
So the only way I know is working is through feedback from the person I'm working with. So typically what I do is I ask them to rate the intensity of the symptom at the start of the session. And then after the session, I ask them to rate it again to see if there's any change. Sometimes it's immediate. Sometimes it's the next day, the next week. It's just different for everybody. Everybody tends to have their own unique experience. So and there is no right or wrong way, I just always let people know, like, hey, if you don't notice a difference immediately, don't assume it's not going to work. At least give it a shot. I mean, maybe it won't work for every single symptom. I mean, certainly isn't a catch-all for absolutely everything, but it's a good starting place. for me at least, it's a good starting place
Yeah.
before I go to something more drastic like a
Yeah.
drug or a surgery. I mean, if you can prevent it, why
Yeah.
not? At least that's my perspective.
Our bodies can like heal, like you said, our bodies can heal like itself, like basically naturally. Like we don't need anything if we like provide it with like the good nutrients, and we're not like like eating like constantly sugar or fried foods. It can like literally heal itself from a lot of things by itself.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's a
Yeah.
whole other level of healing.
Yeah.
There's so many levels, but yeah, I'm with you on that. We eat healthy in my house,
Yeah.
cook a lot of homemade food, and keep it healthy. I try to sustain body, mind, spirit, just everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I I was plant-based for a while, but and then I started like just eating like kind of just however, but I do feel like it has played a toll on my body. Like I do feel a difference. And actually just recently, like yesterday, I was like, I think I need to go plant-based again. Because I was like, I feel like a really big difference in my body. Like I just feel like I feel like a brain fog in a way. I just feel like heavy. I just don't feel good.
mhm.
Not so much that I don't feel good, because like I feel good, but I don't feel good in the way that I felt whenever I was like plant-based.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I eat a pretty clean diet. We eat as much organic as is available at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Everything home cooked pretty much from scratch. I don't even really do many canned goods because they put a lot of salt in those. When I mean, I would say that I'm right on pretty healthy diet and 90% of the time. I do go out and eat, and I do sometimes will eat. Like I try to keep it gluten free, but then sometimes I'll like today I went to Jason's Deli and had this delicious panini that was not gluten free.
Yeah.
Um, um, Sometimes when I do that, I feel a difference. I feel more
Yeah.
sluggish. I don't feel that high energy that just feels
Yeah.
like amazing. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And it also be messing with my stomach too, for sure.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, we keep it pretty clean. At least I'm kind of the instigator in the house. I'm the one that's always like trying to keep everybody in line and eating healthy and well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's actually like with our teeth. I learned this, that our teeth are actually like what is it? They're not what it's not herbivore or omnivores. Our teeth are actually like omnivores. Like where we're supposed to like eat, and it's like where we're mainly supposed to eat like leaves and vegetables, like vegetables in our case, but if we're like an animal, it'd be like leaves and stuff.
Oh yeah.
We're mainly supposed to eat like vegetables and like only a slight percentage of meat.
hmm hmm
That's something I
Yeah,
didn't know, that I found very interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. I love stuff like that because it
Yeah.
helps you understand our
Yeah.
makeup, how we're
Yeah.
made up. It makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how would you say like our energies, because our energies is also like more than just like emotional, like it's also like the energies like we carry, like you were saying. So how would you say like our energies like affect us from like our day-to-day lives, and also like the people we talk to or surround ourselves with?
Yeah. Well, for me, especially since I started doing this work, I feel like I'm more in tuned with my energy than before. But our energies affect us. I don't know if you've ever had an experience of when somebody walks in the room and you just kind of notice them either for different reasons, either they're carrying negative energy, it's heavy, and
Yeah.
they kind of leave a trail,
Yeah.
or somebody that's just so loving and positive, and they just kind of brighten the room.
Yeah.
um, I kind of tend to notice things like that before that I usually just was not aware of. I mean, it was there, but when you're not really in tune, maybe you don't notice it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with energy, um, it has to do with, of course, your emotions, which, by the way, a lot of emotions that we have in our bodies, we've inherited from our parents and our grandparents and our great grandparents and great
And
great 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 grandparents. So kind
yeah.
of from the get-go, I mean, I try not to like be negative, but kind of from the get-go, at the point of conception, we've already inherited tons of stuff that doesn't even belong to us.
Yeah. Is it like genetics, like, or is it just like
Kind of like genetics.
kind of
Yeah,
like genetics?
yeah. The kind of like the idea of genetic, obviously not genetics, but
Yeah, it's not genetics, but in a way, like,
passed along, right?
yeah, like
Mhm.
kind of like how we can look at it.
Yes, it gets
Yeah,
passed on down, and then we generate our own trapped emotions in our body. So it
yeah,
piles on. Our pile of emotions gets piled over their pile of emotions. So
yeah,
yeah, we usually have a lot to work on.
yeah,
But what's beautiful is that as I release these emotions, so say if we had a session and I released an emotion from you that came from your mom, through her dad, through his mom, it gets released all up the chain and down the chain. So like
wow.
if you had kids, if I released it from you, it would just be
So it's
gone from
like a
their entire
ripple.
lineage.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm gonna have to get with you on that for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So there's the getting back to your question, the energy from emotions is one thing, and then we have other energies that are tied to like our beliefs, that carries energy as well. And I also do some work with changing limiting beliefs or transforming limiting beliefs.
yeah.
It's another therapy that I've adopted and I can
Yeah.
practice. So
That's that's cool that you said that. That's really cool that you said that. That you like help people break their limiting beliefs.
yeah,
That's
and
yeah,
'cause I'm always trying to get to the source of the issue. So, as I was helping people, I would say, well, what is causing these trapped emotions to get stuck there from the beginning? I mean, if you have trapped emotions, no doubt it's beneficial to get rid of them. But
yeah,
I would kept asking, but why are they trapped in the first place? And I
yeah.
realized it goes back to our beliefs. So if you've got um, a
Whatever,
belief,
like, yeah, whatever we believe, like in the past, is how we'll react in the future, in the present. Or like if
mhm,
we have, like, say we have a relationship and we relate love to pain, and for all the future, we'll be like, nah, like, I don't want a relationship because it brings pain. But if you're like the other way and you like see a relationship and you're like that love and passion and excitement, you're like, I want a relationship. Like it's all how you look at life, and how
mhm.
you were saying at the beginning, like it's how you look at life can be totally different. Like is the glass half empty or half full?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we each wear our own shade of sunglasses, right? The lenses through which we see the world.
Yeah,
And if I'm wearing red lenses, I'm going to see the world entirely different than you if you're wearing blue lenses. And we're looking at the same world, but we're seeing two different worlds. It's shaped through our beliefs, through our experiences.
yeah,
And beliefs are very hard to change. They're very hard to change. I mean, you can consciously try to change something, but the subconscious beliefs that are there, they're kind of like programs. They're running in the background on autopilot.
they're like
They just become ingrained. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. So those are hard to change. You can change them through like sheer willpower,
yeah,
but there's tools like what I also practice called Psych K that instantly changes
yeah,
beliefs like in seconds. So that you don't have to work so hard. Why work so hard changing a belief when you can change it fast and get on with your life?
yeah,
Yeah. So like I like to, let's be efficient. Let's be efficient about it.
yeah,
So I can share a story with you,
yeah, yeah,
personal
sure.
story if you like.
Yeah, what did you
Um,
actually say it was called? I'm gonna take a note of that. What did you say it was
it's
called?
called Psych. So it's P like Peter, SYCH K. Psych, and then there's a dash, and then K like kite.
Okay,
Psych K.
I wrote
So
that.
so basically what that is, it's like they're called balances. So it's essentially posture. Um, it's something that I guide my clients through
Yeah,
to what we do is we engage the left side of your brain and your right side of the brain. So
yeah,
you're both hemispheres are active, so they're coherent. And then that allows us to transform self-limiting beliefs into life-sustaining, life-supporting beliefs.
yeah,
So, and I'll tell you, I was mentioning a minute ago how difficult it is to change a belief, and I'll give you my own personal story. So, ever since I was a little girl, my mom always said to me, if you go to sleep, with your hair wet in front of, in the AC or with the fan on, or if you go outside and it's cold, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So all my life, I believed that because I was told that.
Yeah.
Not only did I believe it, but it was reinforced because that's what I would experience as a result of my beliefs.
Yeah.
Then my boyfriend at the time, he would say that's ridiculous. Like germs cause you to get sick, not cold weather.
Yeah.
And he would go to sleep with his hair wet, like fresh out of the shower. He'd like lay in front of the air condition with the fan in front of the air condition blowing at him with wet hair, and he wouldn't get sick.
Yeah.
But I would.
Yeah.
I would if I lay down like that.
Yeah.
And so his experience is totally different than my experience. I would get sick if he did that. If he wouldn't. So I realized this is a belief. This is a belief that my mom told me, that probably her mom told her, that her mom told, passed along.
Yeah.
So what I did is I used Psych-K to change my subconscious belief, because consciously I said that's not true. Like, I don't believe it. Even though I consciously said I don't believe it, I would still get sick.
Yeah.
So even though consciously you decide something, it's the subconscious thoughts that kind of rule. They're ruling the terrain of the body.
Yeah.
So I did one balance. It took me like a minute to change that belief.
Oh wow, a minute.
Yeah, it took a minute that would change the belief that would make me get sick with wet hair, cold temperatures. Yeah. And ever since then, I can go to sleep with my hair wet in front of the air conditioner and the fan, and I don't get sick.
Wow, that's cool.
So that goes to show how powerful our beliefs are, and it's very hard to change, because I was like, I don't believe it, but it still would happen.
Yeah.
So and that's just a small example of how much your life can transform when you use Psych-K to change your beliefs.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So I've done worked on my old limited beliefs, but it took nowhere close to like 1 minute. It took up to, I think it was like a 3 or 4 hour process. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not, but Tony Robbins, he's like the #1 life coach. I did my limiting beliefs with him during it's called UPW, Unleash the Power Within. And it was that one. And the exercise we had to do, it was not like 1 minute, and it was it's really silly. Like if you have to do it, it's really silly. And it's like, there's a lot of like yelling, which is like incantations, and like you have to break your patterns and stuff. And that's interesting that you said that, because I never heard of like anyone else besides like someone who I know that knows Tony Robbins talk about like limited beliefs. So that was really interesting that you said that.
Yeah. I love Tony Robbins, by the way. I haven't studied his work, but he's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you know what? I'm always open to new ideas, like what you said about Tony Robbins. Like, I love that. I would totally look into it, even though I know Psych-K. Yeah. I think that different tools help different people. Not every tool might help every person the same way. So the more the better. The more I have in my bag, I feel like more equipped. So I love that. I would love to know more about that too. I can tell you if you like. For sure. Yeah. So the exercise, it's really silly. I'll just say this like off the bat. So you have to like, he tells you like, get your limited beliefs, like what you're telling yourself. That's really like, it's not true, but like you've implanted in yourself, like how you were saying, like you just unconsciously, you've already made it true. So he had this list, like I think 3 to 4, and like once you have your limited beliefs, he tells you to like say it. And like he wants you to say it like super silly, like a baby, or like you're throwing a tantrum. Like he does phases. And I think it's like he has you say them like over and over, like repetitively. But he has you saying them like in silly ways, like in angry ways, like you're upset, or like you're throwing a tantrum, or like that you're crying, or just like super silly, like super goofy. And then like after, he tells you like you have to like swing your nose. Hold on, I can demonstrate for you. Okay. I can give you my old limited belief was that I am not worthy enough. That is like something I used to tell myself. And just like, it was just like, I just felt like I wasn't worthy of what I had in life, what I was going to get, like what I was just working for. I just didn't feel, I guess, just worthy. Like I didn't have that confidence in myself. So you would be like, so he has you like stick your finger up your nose. I could demonstrate. So I would be like, I'm not worthy enough. And then like, I'll show you. It's hard, kind of hard to explain. So it'd be like, so you put your finger in your nose, or you put your finger in your nose. You're like, Caleb Santos,
I am not worthy enough. And then you like do it super silly. And then you like take your finger out and you're like, that's total bullshit. And you like go like on a rant and you like tell yourself how amazing you are and like how you are worthy. And like it is like a super long process. Like it does take long. But I will say, like after that, like once you do it like over and over, like after you're just kind of like that is like it's total bullshit. Like it doesn't even like it doesn't like apply to me. And like I would say like now, like I totally like I can tell myself that and I'm like, I just laugh because I'm like, it's like it doesn't even like make sense to me anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
I would do it.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun. It's fun. It's really weird at the beginning, the first time, because it was like my first
And
time doing an event with him, and he was like, "You got to do this," and I was like, "What is going on? Like, what is happening?" But it was really fun. It really helped out for sure. It changed my limited beliefs.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And then so after that, you feel transformed. You feel like it's
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's
Awesome.
just like he says like how it ties in is because like you're like telling yourself like over and over, but like you have your like you're putting yourself in a weird position because like you're putting your finger in your nose, and it's like you're telling yourself like in weird ways that you wouldn't normally say it. And he's like, and then right after you like tell yourself like something else that's positive, and you reinforce like all the things that you do deserve. So it's like your brain like it like breaks your old habit down, your old limited beliefs, and it brings in your new one. And he says that's kind of like how it works. But like, it's super weird. Like if you don't put your finger in your nose, like he says, like it doesn't work. Like yeah, it has to be like very, and like it's very repetitive. Like you do one finger and then you do two fingers, and then it's it's crazy, but it's fun. And I would say on my half, on like my mom's half, because she did it with me, I would say it works like on both of us.
It sounds almost like you're making a new association. So you're that belief, it's like you're doing something silly, so your mind's associating like
Yeah.
it's silly as you're saying it, because it is, right? And
Yeah.
then it's like changes. Oh, that's funny. I've never heard that, but
Yeah.
wow. Yeah,
It's
that's very cool.
yeah. Yeah, sure.
Thank you for sharing that. I love it.
What would you say like has been your biggest breakthrough in like in the energy world, and also like I guess would you say like energy ties into like the spiritual world, or would you say that's like a totally different kind of like different topic, like two different subjects?
It broke up a little bit. You said, what is my biggest breakthrough
With like the energy world, and like would you say like the spiritual world as well? Like do you say that ties in together, or are those like two completely different topics?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, my biggest breakthrough actually leads me to the next thing that I'm heavily into at the moment, which is meditation.
Oh yeah, nice. Sure.
The meditation, wow. I mean,
Yeah.
out of this world,
Yeah.
insanely amazing. Like the motion coach and psyche, they're amazing. They help you right now. But with the meditation,
Knocked it
and
out.
there's many different kinds, right? There's many different
Yeah.
flavors of meditation, but actually the only one that I've really truly done, I've been meditating regularly since like COVID started.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, for about an hour a day.
Oh wow, that's really good. I can do
Yeah.
like I just I need to work on it, but I can do like maybe 15, 30 minutes a day.
Yeah. No,
And I
don't
don't
get me
do it.
wrong.
I don't do it daily either. I do it
Daily.
like
Yeah.
just whenever
No, when
I
I
feel like I
first
need it. Yeah.
yeah. When I first started doing meditations with Dr. Joe Dispenza, his were an hour. And when I first, because I was like you, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? An hour? Like a
Yeah.
whole hour? Like that seemed like such a ridiculously long time to like
Yeah.
meditate. But oh my gosh, Caleb, that meditation it blows everything out of the water.
Yeah.
As far as how I understood the world to be.
Is this like meditation on YouTube, or is it just like is it exclusive? Like do you have to like purchase it, or how can you like how can I get my hands on this meditation? Because it sounds really Be interested.
Yes. There's free versions on YouTube that you can
Yeah.
get. The only thing with that is sometimes there'll be ads, like they'll
Yeah.
pop
In
up
the
during the
middle,
meditation. You're like, you broke my amazing
Yeah.
vibe. But that's the only thing about that. But there are some that don't have ads. You can
What would it
find.
be? Do you know, do you know what it's called under YouTube?
Yeah, if you just look up Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dispenza, meditation. So search Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations. There's so many out there
Oh, sure.
that are free.
I'll check that out for sure.
I like to buy his meditations on his website, and I just download them on my computer, and then
Yeah. It's probably like more convenient for you, especially since like,
and they're very well done. You know, they're very
Yeah.
professional. The ones on YouTube are people that are just kind of doing them maybe at home and putting them out there.
Yeah.
There's good ones out there for sure. But I go with the ones he does and do those pretty
It's
much.
more direct. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so those to meditation blew everything that I understood the world to be out of the water. I mean, night and day.
You give me like one example of like how it changed everything?
Oh yes, absolutely. I now know that I can create my life. I can create my world. I'm a creator. We're creators.
Yeah.
We're creators, you know,
we can create
much more than we know, than we believe that we can.
Yeah.
So I'll give you two examples. Okay. The very first time I did the Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation, the full, in case you're interested, it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a book that goes along with it and explains, you know, what you're doing in the meditation. Dr. Joe is real big on the science behind what you're doing. He wants you to know the scientific reason that his meditations work, and it's all explained in that book.
Yeah.
So the first time I did that meditation from start to finish, it's an hour and 15 minutes. It's just as long, very long for a beginner. But the first time I did it, I started feeling this energy in my body, like I could feel the energy just vibrating.
Yeah.
And by that point, by that stage in my life, I wasn't new to energy. I was already doing emotion codes, like so I was comfortable, I should say.
Yeah.
So during the meditation, he asks you, towards the end of the meditation, he asks you to ask for a sign to show up in your life as evidence that you've connected to this source.
Yeah, like I feel like I feel like meditation is kind of like you're tapping into your unconscious mind and you're allowing yourself to like learn from yourself in a way that you wouldn't usually, because we're so distracted with our phone, our computer, our problems we have going on with life. And like with meditation, like it kind of like gives us that opportunity to like actually relax and calm down and learn from ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly it. And not only are we connecting with ourselves, but we're connecting with this field, this energetic field that permeates everything. It's in the space. It's in the stillness.
Yeah.
So when so the meditation asks you for a sign that you've connected to this space, this realm, this people call it different things. Some people might call it, you know, God. Some people might call it the universe. Some people might call it the divine.
Just like whoever you look to as your higher creator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to have a label, because certain labels sometimes turn certain people off. They're like, oh, well, that's not my belief, like that. I don't want to do that. So it really doesn't have a label. You kind of can call it what you wish, but
it's more like directed towards what you are. So like, yeah. So like if you so like say you believe in like Buddhism, you could be like Buddha. Or if you believe in God, you could say God, or Mother Nature, God, or Earth, whatever you believe in. It's like you just.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like a lot of people, because I try telling people like the same thing, and people get so confused. And I'm like, it's just like, it's not that you're like praying to someone else. It's still like you're connecting with like whoever you believe in. It's like it's your it's your like experience. It's not like no one else's, it's yours.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you connect to that space during the meditation, and then at the end of the meditation, you ask for a sign to prove to you that you're on the right track, that you've established a connection, and that you were heard, right? So the very first time I did that meditation in full, I went straight. As a matter of fact, I was late for work, and I knew I was going to be late for work, but it was too amazing. I said, I'm going to have to be late for work because I can't just stop this meditation. It was like amazing.
Yeah.
So I let my boss know, hey, I'm running behind schedule. Like, I'll be there a little bit late. So, I drove to Austin. I was at home meditating in the morning. I drove to Austin, and seemed like a normal day. I at one point got up. I was in the hallway, and I ran into a manager. And she says, oh, Raquel, can you come see me in my office? I actually need to talk to you. I said, sure, I'll be right there. So I walked up after a couple of minutes. I walked up to her office, and she was sitting there with another manager, and they're like, oh, come in, have a seat. And she said, I just wanted to let you know that you've been nominated for an award. And we wanted to get some information from you, like when you graduated from college, when you started working for the Job Corp, just details of the award. And I was just like, okay. And along with that came like a bonus. It was like money.
Yeah.
So, and she said to me, she says, about 2 weeks ago, we were going to nominate someone. Somebody else had been nominated, and I said, no, I know the perfect person. And I had, you in mind, which is me. Yeah. I had you in mind. So I said, no, we need to give this to Raquel, because she was a former Job Corp student, and she's been here X amount of years.
Yeah.
And it was a confirmation that due to this experience that I had in the meditation, and suddenly I get recognized for an award and get money. And that had not happened in decades. I've been working for this company for a long time. Like, that's not normal. It's not like you might get it this year, or you might get it in 3 years. Like, no, you never get that. You never get that. That wasn't how they ran the business. It wasn't a standard thing. And I was just blown away by that, because I thought, wait a minute. She says that she made this recommendation 2 weeks ago, but I just meditated. The meditation was this morning. It wasn't 2 weeks ago, and I was trying to figure it out, but then, it goes back, and I realized, everything that I've read and know about time, and, you hear like time is not linear. And I just thought, okay, you know what? I don't really know how this happened, but I know that it happened in her life. She requested this 2 weeks ago, even though I just did the meditation today. I don't know, but that was the first like big wow for me.
Yeah.
The next big wow actually just happened. This just happened like a week ago. So I was meditating. Yeah, I've been meditating on abundance, on freedom and money, receiving money.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for a few weeks, not even like months, just weeks. And my boss says, hey, by the way, check your bank account. We all got bonuses. I was like, what? Because that's not normal. Where I work, I mean, unfortunately, that's not normal. We don't get bonuses.
Yeah. There's
no Christmas bonuses. There's just not.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this meditation, and not only do I get a bonus, everybody at work got bonuses.
Oh, so it's like the whole kind of like, is it a company or like the whole company?
It's a company. Well, there's probably about a little over 24 that are on this team that all got bonuses. So that meditation, I mean, not only did I get bonuses, but so did they. So it changed even the people, it improved, or the people around me got a benefit from it, which is super cool, because I was just focused on abundance, and
and I feel like what you focus on, it comes to you, like you can manifest it whenever you focus on. Obviously, like you have to put some work towards it. Like it doesn't just come. Like, you have to say like, I want more money, and it comes. Like you obviously have to, like, I'm sure you were doing like work as well. You were also doing your end, like not only meditation. But I for sure believe that like whatever you like, you can manifest whatever you believe. And I'm sure like I didn't know like how meditation could like lead and power into that. But I totally do agree with you, and I believe that.
Yeah, it's I realize that there's no limit to it. It can change, transform our work life, our personal lives, our lives with our family, love life. I mean, there is nothing that you cannot do with meditation. It's just it's been pretty amazing. So I'm still kind of in the middle of, I don't have like all the knowledge the
Yeah.
Dispenza. There's a lot out there. But I do know that it works.
Yeah, for sure.
It really works.
I actually have a meditation story too. It's not as
Okay.
recent as yours, but it's within the month. It's within the month. So it was another Tony Robbins course, Date with Destiny. This one there was a meditation. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Master Co.
I just did listen to his meditation this
Yeah,
morning. Stephen
yeah.
Masterco.
Yeah, so
I love him.
it was a meditation by Master Ko. It was a Chinese medicine meditation. I don't exactly remember what it was called. I wish I did, but I don't remember what it was called. And it's kind of long. I don't know, to be honest, how long it was. It felt like kind of like 20 minutes, but then when we opened our eyes, like 2 hours had passed. So I don't exactly know the time frame, but it was a good while. But it was totally worth it. It was a so unreal experience. Like I can explain it, but I can't really explain like how I felt. It was it was like one of the meditations where you had to do like it was like where we had to be in like the pose, and you were like saying like you were like there was like different chants we were doing, and then there was like the gong that they would hit. And it was during the gong, like at first I didn't feel anything, and there was like a part wherever into the intro to the meditation, like I guess like tapping into like your unconscious mind, like you had to like you had to tap into like the God or the creator. And like right now where I'm at in life, like I'm kind of like I believe in God, but I'm kind of like I guess like in a I guess like I spiritual like I guess debate. Not even so much a debate. It's just like I'm not exactly sure where I am. So I didn't know like I knew I could go to God, but I also didn't know like what if like I don't want to go to God? Like it was just like a weird moment for me during the meditation. So I kind of just I skipped that part and I was like, I just won't do it. And then he like after he skipped and he moved on to the next one, he was like, I hope you did that because that's an important part to the meditation. I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna get this anymore. So it was like I was doing it, and then it was like nothing was happening. So I was like, man, I'm not gonna get it because I didn't do the one of the most important parts. So I was kind of upset, but I was just like, no, I'm just gonna stick it through. And then it was like one of the gongs, and it was just there, and it was super weird because he said it was there's a certain name for it, but like once you translate it, it's like just like a blessing of meditation. And he was like that you will feel like whoever you tap into, whoever your creator is, that's what you'll feel. And I didn't like, I was like, since I missed that part, I was like, I totally gonna miss it. But it was like that gong, and it was like a comfort that I had never felt before. And it was like, I could even feel like a presence standing next to me, like a kind of like a dad, like a comforting dad, or like a comforting big brother, like just there, like just like in a way, like I felt like not a physical hug, but like an emotional hug. Like it's an amazing feeling. Like I just like it's amazing, like honestly. And then I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So I was like, I was locked in now. And then I was like, this is it's going down. And there was another one, like I kept following. There was another gong. And then this time it was like it was everything like just became white. Like in my everything that I was seeing like became white, like a beautiful white light. Like it's like the only thing like I can even think of describe it as is like kind of like you're walking into like heaven's gates. Like it's like so white and like pure. And it was just like I freaked out. I'm not even gonna lie, I freaked out. And I was like, what's going on? And I like broke it. And I was like, what's going on? So like I like I guess woke up out of my unconscious mind. I was like, what's going on? So I broke it. But then like once I broke it, I was like, that was really cool. Why did I break it? So then it took me a while to get back into it. But once I got back into it, like I felt the gong again. I heard the gong, and then I felt like the comforting, and then like I saw the white light again. But like this time I took a step. I felt like I physically took a step into the white light and it got closer. But then like I don't know if I broke it or if I just like wasn't ready or like what happened, but it just stopped. And then after that, like it didn't happen again. But it was an amazing experience that I've never experienced before that I do want to experience again if it's possible. But if not, I know how amazing it was, and I'm sure there's other experiences.
Was it one of his, because he does lives. He does lives like three times a week,
Yeah.
twice a day. Was it a live one?
No,
Or
it was
it a
not a
recorded?
lie. It was, I did it during the date with Destiny. I don't know. Maybe my mom has it written down in her
Oh,
notes. I'll try to find it though, because I want to do it myself as well. But I have seen those lives that he does. Or have you done one of them yourself?
I do his lives, like when they come on, like if I've done several of them. I don't do all of them. I wish I could.
Yeah.
But he does, he works a lot with like money. There's actually, he has a program on manifesting money, that
I know
I've
that.
heard really good reviews. People say that they've gotten more out of those meditations than other meditations. So
Yeah.
he's definitely on my radar. I definitely want to do
Yeah.
it,
I've
on my
I've
to-do list.
I've like I guess I've dabbled with him because of Tony Robbins, but because of Tony Robbins, like I got introduced to him, and now I've been like kind of doing like a little bit of my own. Like kind of, they're not like his long ones. Like some of his he does like 2 hour long ones. Like I just do like the short like ones. But I still like I am like kind of like he's like in my radar as well. Like I've just been dabbling with him, but he has I've really liked him.
Yeah, I would love to do it. He has a 2 hour one. I would love to do a 2 hour
Yeah,
one. When he does his, I can really feel the energy in my hands. Like he
yeah,
channels the energy and he has you put that good energy back out to the earth and to the people, your
yeah,
family, everybody on the planet. You just kind of recycle it. But in doing that, you're calling it upon yourself essentially.
yeah.
But yeah, I love him. He and Dr. Joe, they're my favorites. I love. He's amazing. It's truth there,
Sure.
that's for sure.
So how would you like suggest that someone that's interested in getting like into the spiritual world, the meditation world, I guess like the inner calming world, because that's kind of like what it is, like facing your emotions, going through like I guess in a way your emotional traumas and like facing it is something that we don't do in today's world. Like we just push it aside or we mask it. So how would you say like what would be a good starting for someone who has no idea what like how to even begin or someone who's beginning and they'd like to know more? Like what would you suggest?
I would say that it depends on the person. So if you're the kind of person that likes to do it yourself, meditation would probably be a good fit, um, because honestly, all the healing, we can all do our own healing. You
Yeah,
know, I practice the emotion code and I practice Psyche, and they're amazing and I believe in them 100%. But if you can master like the meditation, it's not necessary to hire someone to give you, going back to your question. Um, so in answer to your question, it depends on the person. So if you're the type of person that likes to do it yourself, go with meditation, because with meditation, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Master Stephen Co, there's nothing that you cannot heal on your own. You just you have to be a person that's disciplined and that will do it, that's excited to do it, right?
yeah,
If that's not your personality type, if that's not your style, then there's options like emotion code, Psyche, where you have somebody like myself that can facilitate to help you clear the blocks so that you can get closer to your goal, whatever that may be.
yeah.
So it just kind of depends, I think, on your
Varies on
personality.
person to person. Yeah.
There's no, I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong way to do it. It's just what is the right way
What
for you.
benefits you the most? Yeah.
What benefits you the most. Um, but I would highly recommend if you're able to meditate, because it will change your life. There's
Yeah.
so many stories actually for anybody listening. If you just Google Dr. Joe Dispenza testimonials, I mean, there's
Yeah.
hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of testimonials, and there's people there. There's one guy on there. If you want, I could send it to you. I think I might have sent it to you,
Yeah.
where
I think you did.
he manifested money.
Yeah.
And several people have manifested, I mean, large amounts of money, like over $500,000.
Yeah.
And in this one testimonial, this guy says, I realized that I do not have to work for money. Like I can just energetically manifest money. I don't have to ever work again. I can just
Yeah.
make it my reality.
Yeah.
And what I've heard so many times, that it's it's not any harder to manifest $500,000 than to manifest $100. Like, it's the same process. So if you can manifest something small, it's the same process to manifest something big.
Yeah.
Along with that, though, you also have to believe it. You know, you have to believe it during the day. Like, you can't go into your meditation and say, oh, I'm abundant, and then go about your day saying, well, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, I'm broke. Like, why me? Why me? Why am I a victim? Like, they're opposite ideas.
Yeah.
And
If you don't if you don't fully believe in what you're telling yourself, you're questioning yourself. And with questioning yourself brings doubt, and then like doubt, like it's just like a whole trickle effect of when you're not certain in your own self.
Right. You have to believe it before you see it. You have to,
you know, and that's,
yes.
Yeah.
And you combine that with elevated emotions. You set your intention, elevated emotions. That's kind of how you do it. You know, your intention, your elevated emotions, and try to maintain those throughout the day. It's not going to be easy. I mean, some people struggle so much when they get started in meditation, and it's okay. It doesn't have to be easy. But just keep doing at it. Eventually, nothing's always easy in the beginning, and in time, you'll get there.
Yeah, it just takes practice.
Yeah. And then no one is more special than someone else or more gifted. I mean, we're all capable of it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have one final, I guess, major question for you. So if you were stranded on an island, it's kind of a long question. If you were stranded on an island, would you rather have a map of the island, a book of 101 things called to do on a deserted island so I'd never get bored, a camera to take selfies, a companion or a buddy, an iPod full of your favorite music or podcast, or tools to build a solar water still so you can have plenty to drink?
I would personally, especially in this COVID era that we're living in, I would choose to have a companion.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a companion, because I feel like any experience in our lives, whether it's something positive or something, you know, not so positive, I think it's better shared in good company.
Yeah, I could see that from me though. Like you value connection and that like that rapport in a way, like that rapport with another human.
Yeah, and then together, you know, two heads are better than one. Together, I think we could figure it out. You know, find the solutions and try to make it enjoyable. And hopefully, it's something. It's a beautiful place. Enjoy it, and then get a good plan to get back to the family, back to reality, but try to enjoy it if possible. So yeah, I would say a partner.
Yeah, for sure. I also
hopefully somebody that's skilled in survival skills. If possible.
I also feel like we need, like in life, like we need a companionship. Like we need to have like kind of just like that partner. Not so much like, maybe not so much that it's like a relationship, but it's just like that partner that you have, that it's like we're partners and we're cool with each other. I can count on you, you can count on me. Just like that type of like a companionship.
Yeah, we need that. We definitely need that. And it doesn't always necessarily have to be just one person. Sometimes people, especially like in relationships or romantic relationships, some people, we tend to kind of look to this other person and say, oh, you have to be the answer to everything that I need, everything that's missing, I want you to provide it. And that's not, I don't think, realistic. I think there's different people that are part of our lives and provide us with different needs, insights, right? Like, I might have something to contribute. My mom will have something different to contribute. My sister, nieces, everybody in their own way. So yeah, it's a different person for a different occasion, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, definitely companionship on that deserted, hopefully very beautiful island. Hopefully Tahiti. That's my dream, actually. I meditate on going to Tahiti almost every day.
It's pretty cool. I'm sure you can make it happen. I'm sure you'll be in Tahiti pretty soon, very soon.
You'll get the follow-up interview.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Nice.
You have exclusive rights.
Yeah. So is there any questions you would have that you have for me or you'd like to ask me, or just anything you'd like to tell me or the people listening in general?
Um, yeah, I actually don't know who the audience is gonna be.
Huh?
Um,
I guess it would be, I honestly, it's kind of everyone. It goes from people from my age all the way up to my parents' age, all the way up from whoever sees it on Instagram or TikTok.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I definitely have just some personal things I can share that I wish I would have known growing up.
Yeah.
You know, one thing is, I don't know your experience or other young people's experience, but when I was growing up, older people tended to kind of shrug off the youth as, oh, you're too young to know,
Yeah.
or you're too young to understand, almost as if being youthful was not something that was
Good.
truly valued, right? It was like, oh, you're young, wait till you get older.
Right.
What I would like to say, and I don't know if anybody, if that was just my experience or if anybody else experiences that, but I would like to say that your youth is amazing. If you're young and you still haven't figured out life, you know what? It's amazing. You get one chance to be young. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it,
Gotta live it up.
So what? You're young, so what? You don't know the answers, but you've got this fresh perspective, this fresh outlook, this youthful body. Not every youthful person is like in amazing health, but
Yeah.
for those that are, even if you're not, there's something about your physicality that's amazing, that whenever you're in your 70s, 80s, you're going to look back and say, wow, like I was so young, like I didn't appreciate it. So my
Yeah.
message: appreciate your youth, because it's amazing. It doesn't matter that you're young and inexperienced or don't know the answers and you're going to fail, and that's normal. You have to fail in order to succeed. And that was another thing, for me, is that I kind of was raised with having that fear of failure.
Yeah.
But the way I see it now is that failing is a good thing, because when you fail, you truly learn something.
Yeah.
You
You
I
can
look back at
learn from what you failed from.
yes, yes. When I think of things that could be perceived as mistakes that I've made in my life, back when I was young to even last year, mistakes, I look at them and I say, you know what, I thank them, because I've learned from them and I've grown from them. If you don't,
Yeah.
when you fail firsthand, personally, it's a real opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be growth. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, because
It's a
you're,
part
you're
of the journey.
yes,
Yeah. It's
yes,
the only
and
way,
it's how
it's the
you
only way to
improve.
grow, because without failure, then that means we'd have like this perfect life, and then we wouldn't have any way to grow, and we'd all just be living like our life would be super boring.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. There's something to strive for, something. You see the contrast when there's a struggle, you see the contrast of, oh, well, I know that this era of my life is good and I'm here now. So you've got that contrast, and you know what you want, that how good things can get.
Yeah.
Um,
Not so much that
another,
you failed, it's just that you learned a way that didn't work.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Another thing, just advice in general to anybody that's younger, maybe out of high school or close to graduating or in college or trying to figure out what to do with their life. One thing I would just highly recommend is that you do something that you love, whatever job you want to do, just make sure it's fun, because or something that you're passionate about, that you believe
Yeah.
in. Because if you get tied into a job that you don't believe in, that doesn't move your heart, your soul, your mind, um, and you're stuck doing that job for decades, that's a miserable way to live. So I would always say, don't worry, don't go for just what's going to bring you a lot of money. I mean, money is important, but it's not the most important thing.
Yeah. You can have a lot of money and still be unhappy or
still be unhappy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking money. Money is good.
Yeah.
If I had a choice in between money and no money, I would always pick money.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good thing. But don't let that be the main factor in making your decisions, because at the end of the day, you want to be
happy,
doing something that brings you joy.
Yeah, for sure.
And do stuff while you're young, because sometimes you wait, sometimes you procrastinate, you're like, I'll do it later, or if you wait and wait and wait and let life kind of get in the way, then you get older. It's always going to be easier when you're younger, like school or travel, whatever. It's going to be easier because when you're younger, you don't have possibly you don't have a family yet. I mean, some young people do, but you might not have kids, you might not be married. You're also not older. You might not have disease. I mean, God forbid, anyone have a disease, but as you get older, depending on how you've lived your life, that could be a factor. Not to say that has to slow you down in any way, but it's easier when you're younger.
Yeah.
So take advantage of your youth and make the most of it. Have fun and make good choices.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah. So those are just a few things that I think of. Like, I wish I would have had a different perspective when I was at that age. Now that I have it,
like you would have embraced your youth.
Right. I would have really gone after or enjoyed it more. Not that I didn't, but would have enjoyed it even more and been proud of, hey, I'm young. Yeah, I don't know the answers, but hey, I'm young and I'm here and life is good.
Yeah.
Just that joy,
Yeah.
And as far as any questions for you, I was just curious on what else you have coming up, if you have any new ideas or anything lined up for more podcasts, or is that still in the works?
Yeah, for sure. So with this, it is just a Zoom call right now. Just because I wanted to get it off the ground, I wanted to get it going. It had always been, I guess, kind of an idea since junior year, and I'd always kind of I joked around about it because I knew unconsciously, and then it became a conscious thought, I want to have a podcast. But it was just a joke because I was like, I'm never gonna have a podcast. That's what I told myself. I was just I was unworthy of having a podcast. I just told myself it was just it wouldn't happen. And then senior year, I joked around it a little bit more, and I was joking around with it in class. And one of my classmates was like, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So it started there, and we kind of dabbled with it, but it was nothing too serious. But then after the Tony Robbins event, he said, put down your goals. And I was like, what are some goals you want to achieve in 2022? And I was like, I want to start a podcast. I've always said I wanted to do it. And I've joked around with it, but I joking around with it because I knew I kind of wanted it. So I was I wanted to get serious with it. And then getting serious with it, actually putting it down and thinking about it, I was I got a passion for it. I felt this excitement, oh my God, I'm having, this is my podcast. I'm it's an amazing feeling because I can connect with you. I can connect with someone else. I can get different insights on life. I can build the rapport. I can learn. It's just an amazing experience overall. And I can also this insight that we're sharing is not only for us, but it can also help someone else that's maybe listening. So that was really big for me, just because my whole thing is I don't want people to feel alone, just because through my dark times, I felt alone. Even though I know I wasn't alone, I know I felt alone, and I don't want anyone to feel like that. And if there's a way that I could prevent that, I'd love to do that. And I felt like a podcast was in a way that I could do that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So for the Zoom right now, it's just Zoom. But I do plan on having, I want to transition into having the full podcast where I'll have guests in front of me and I'll have the mics and the, all the setup. But for now, it'll be just on Zoom, but I do plan to advance it and just grow and expand and impact more lives and get impacted for sure.
Yeah. I love that. I feel it feels very natural. This conversation seems like a very natural, exchange. So I think you did a great job.
I just wanted to be a just normal conversation. Chinwag actually means conversate, to chat. and it's a word that you don't usually hear, but I was like, I kind of like it because it's unique and it's kind of just like it kind of like scratches the brain. Like, what does that even mean? Like chinwag.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I like that. I could see
yeah,
like a logo or something coming up
yeah,
from that. You could do a lot
yeah,
with that.
yeah. And
Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun. I mean, I think it's fun to be like in front of the camera, just having a
yeah,
conversation. And
it's
you
it's
know,
it's a little adventurous.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I love it. That's one of the things that I've tried to, I'm trying to invite into my life, is more adventure. So this was
yeah,
definitely
it's
the first step. And
yeah.
it feels so much fun. So thank you for
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I'm glad that I was able to provide like that little bit of adventure. As you said that you're saying like a bunch of things that are really clicking off with me. Oh, I put that on one of my lists that I wanted to like achieve like more feelings as well, like adventure and fun, because I feel like I'm just a very straight up person. Like everything has to get to the point. There is no like it shouldn't be fun. Like yeah, I joke around and I laugh, but like in like full like in myself, like I know I'm not having fun. Like I'm just like straight to the point. We got to get it done. And like I just adding fun and adventure has like to things like experiences, like just how I want to live my life is I feel like it's really changed. Like I feel like now like my jokes are just like they're I actually mean them and like I can actually laugh from them and like I'm just having like a good time enjoying life. And this podcast has for sure been adventurous. It's very nerve-wracking. I'm very yeah, but it's
It
it's
seems
fun.
like very natural. It seems to me
Yeah.
it feels like a very natural process, and fun, adventurous. So it's for me, it's been a great experience.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
good. Yeah, for sure. Was that the only question you had, or do you have any other questions for me?
No, that was the only thing. I would love to see some of your other work
Yeah,
whenever they're
sure.
available.
Yeah,
I
so I
definitely.
plan to be uploading every Friday. Sure, let you know. I'll be posting a date. But I'm pretty sure Fridays are gonna be my date on posting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. That sounds
Was-
great. Let me know where I
Yeah,
can find you, and
sure.
I'll be sure to tune in.
Yeah. It was amazing having you. It was amazing learning from you. It was amazing like hearing from you, hearing your perspective. I had a really great time. I can't wait to have you back on again. Hopefully after you visit, where did you say you wanted to visit?
Oh, Tahiti.
Tahiti, yeah. Hopefully it'll be
Yeah.
after you visit Tahiti because it'll be coming up very soon for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do a podcast from Tahiti
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. That would be nice. Yeah.
to show proof that I was really there. But yeah, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll keep you posted on making all these manifestations. I'll keep you in
Yeah.
the loop.
Yeah, for sure. All righty. I'll catch y'all guys later. Peace out.
Thank you.